Look at your face. Did you just step out of a social drama or did you accidentally like an ex's old photo from 2015?
Even worse. This morning I got a message from the legendary Min.
Min again? The king of disastrous moves? What was it this time? I miss you, or where's that blue shirt you used to wear?
The content was very brief. Are you living well?
That sounds normal, just a polite check-in.
The problem is, he sent it at 4:17 a.m., accompanied by a photo of a steaming cup of kimchi noodles.
Haha, peak performance. 4 a.m. is the golden hour for pseudo-philosophers and lonely souls facing stomach aches. Was he trying to use the spiciness of the kimchi as a metaphor for the pain of the breakup?
Looking at those noodles, I felt bad for the marketing industry. He probably thought it was a romantic gesture straight out of an indie film.
And did you provide any feedback for that work of art?
I sent a thumbs up emoji, a gentle acknowledgement of his effort to boil water.
A finishing move that couldn't be more cold-hearted.
Not yet. The climax was when he messaged, "I still remember your favorite cafe." Then he attached a photo of a billiards hall.
What? When did you two ever date over a billiards table that I didn't know about?
Exactly! I sat there wondering if, in his memory, I was his girlfriend or a semi-pro pool player. My memory must have been mixed up with his drinking buddies.
Min has always had that groundless self-confidence. I remember him beating his chest saying, "I'm great at reading people."
Right. And the result of that reading was that on our anniversary, he gave me a book called Handbook for Cactus Care. Meanwhile, I'm the kind of person who could kill even a plastic plant.
Haha, I remember that. You persistently watered that plastic plant for a month because you thought it looked a bit dry.
Because it looks so real. Yet he insisted, "I see you have the soul of a nature lover." I don't think he was reading people. He was reading someone else's script entirely.
What was his classic line again? I like you because you're simple.
Yeah, he said that right when I was using a Band-Aid and a stainless steel spoon to fix a broken projector. He called it simple, I called it survival skills of the broke.
But back then, why did you fall for him so hard?
Because he had this aura of, let me handle everything. He seemed very reliable until reality slapped me in the face.
People like that usually have their own unique operating system.
Exactly. Once the bike died in the middle of the road, he looked at the sky and the ground, then declared, "I can handle this. It's no big deal."
And did he pull out tools to fix it?
No, he called his dad.
Ah, a lifeline from a relative. Very practical.
The problem was when his dad arrived, the first thing he said was, "Min, did you pour soda into the gas tank again to see if the bike would go faster?"
Haha, no way. Is that the mind of a genius or a kindergartner?
At that moment, standing there, I felt love leaving my body at 5G fiber optic speed.
After the breakup, didn't he try to build a brooding man image on social media?
Right. His stories were full of quotes, like, "The silent one is the one carrying an ocean of thoughts."
Sounds quite deep.
It would have been deep if he hadn't used a background photo of himself gnawing on grilled corn, with kernels still stuck to his lip.
Romance destroyed in a single note.
Watching it, I felt like I had dated a supporting character in a sitcom. But thinking back, I wasn't much better. Remember my music playlist?
Independent woman, don't need no man.
That's the one!
But inside, it was all Adele and Lana Del Rey. That's not independence. That's a campaign to water the soul with tears.
Haha! Well, you need a little drama to make life poetic. Once Min even tried to impress me by learning to cook and sending me a clip, beef in wine sauce.
Sounds like he was becoming boyfriend material.
The clip was beautiful, until the end when the pan burst into flames. I panicked and asked what happened. He messaged back, "I wanted the dish to have depth."
His kitchen must have had depth all the way to the floor after those burn marks.
Strangely, sometimes I still miss him.
Really? You planning on going back to the kimchi noodles?
No, I miss the feeling of laughing. Not the cheesy romance, but the feeling that life suddenly had a 24/7 free entertainment program.
Min isn't an ex, he's a lifestyle.
Exactly. He's not bad, it's just his brain and his mouth don't use the same operating system.
Didn't you two have a big fight once because he lied about going to sleep but got caught live streaming karaoke?
Yeah, and the funny part was he sang, "Sorry, my love," but forgot to block me. I went in to watch and even saw him enthusiastically giving himself heart emojis.
That's the honesty of not knowing how to hide anything.
I sat there watching the live stream, both angry and wanting to send him a donation for that innocence.
And what about the time he brought a guitar and stood under your balcony? I heard it was like a Korean drama.
More like a comedy. He didn't know how to play. He just practiced exactly 2 chords and strummed them over and over for 15 minutes.
Didn't the neighbors call the police?
The lady next door opened her window and yelled, "Love is not for this hour. Play that again and I'm dumping water on you."
And how did Min react?
He yelled back, "Ma'am, I'm pursuing love." She fired back, "If you're in love, go learn some more chords. You're hitting the wrong notes."
Haha, that lady is a legend.
At that point, I had to go down and give him a bottle of water because his voice was completely raspy. Looking at his face, both pathetic and hilarious, I couldn't stay mad.
Ultimately, those stories have become your storytelling assets now.
Yeah, while it was happening, it was drama, but now that it's over, it feels light, like a very long typo in the journal of my youth.
A typo that makes the page look more entertaining.
Exactly. Now I just need someone who knows the difference between a cafe and a pool hall, and I'll be satisfied.
Your standards are getting quite high now.
Haha, how about you? Anything special about your exes? Don't hide it.
Never telling. I'm afraid one day you'll turn me into a comedy script in a cafe like this.
Don't worry, I'll edit your memories to be handsome but slightly confused.
That doesn't sound comforting at all.
Oh, come on, let's raise a glass to the exes, the people who sacrificed their image so we'd have material to gossip about today.
This glass is for kimchi noodles and wrong chords.
Hey, Alex. Back in school, I was a loyal victim of those inspirational quotes, like, "Just work hard, and the world will make way for you."
And then you found out the world doesn't make way, it just stands aside to see how tired you get, right?
Haha, exactly. I used to grind the iron so diligently that I thought I was becoming a blacksmith instead of a success.
Our old philosophy of diligence makes a needle out of iron should be changed to diligence makes your hands tired, so change jobs quickly.
You really are an expert at extinguishing pink dreams. But I admit, back then we worked hard in a very mindless way. During one final exam period, I studied so much that I thought the neighbor's cat was an invigilator watching me for cheating.
I had it worse. One night, studying math, I fell asleep on a pile of documents. When I woke up, a whole function graph and logarithmic formula were printed backwards on my cheek, looking like the tattoo of a heartbroken professor.
And did you transform into a math genius after that fateful collision?
No, but the invigilator that day looked at my face and was probably moved, thinking I'd stayed up all night studying. So when he collected my paper, he just gave a very sympathetic sigh.
Ha. Back then, did your family treat the report card like the national weather forecast?
Definitely. If a math score dropped from a 9 to an 8, the family atmosphere went from sunny polar region to tropical depression with scattered thunderstorms instantly.
My family worshipped a mystical entity called someone else's child, a multiverse character, great at math, knew how to play the flute, and helped their mom wash dishes without ever arguing.
I always wonder if that someone else's child had to go to therapy later for being too perfect.
Looking back, we were so strange back then. 16 years old, an age where you don't even know what's for lunch if your mom doesn't cook, yet you had to make life or death decisions like choosing a major or a career path.
That's called the destruction combo of youth. We thought adults knew everything and held a map. Only when we grew up did we realize adults are just bigger children, guessing the way.
My dad once said something that stunned me. "I'm also just trying to live correctly for the first time, my child." Suddenly, my grades didn't feel like the apocalypse anymore.
Right. School teaches us how to solve equations, but no one teaches that I didn't do well is completely different from I'm not good enough.
That was deep, not your usual style.
Because I was that kid who was almost depressed when I failed to make the honors team. I felt like the whole world had crossed my name off the list of people with a future.
So what saved that poor soul?
A discounted meat bread roll after 7 p.m. from a vendor near school. She saw my miserable face and said, "If you fail, take the test tomorrow. No one dies from grades, so why look like you're at a funeral, kid?"
Sometimes the philosophy of a bread vendor is more powerful than 1,000 self-help books.
Exactly. She gave me 2 extra slices of ham, and boom, my world was bright again.
I once cried my eyes out because I came in third in class.
Third, and you cried? How are those of us at the bottom of the rank supposed to live?
Because first place was my best friend. It wasn't jealousy. I was just afraid we wouldn't walk the same path anymore. Peer pressure back then was terrifying.
Schools unintentionally create a race where any kid who stops for a milk tea feels guilty about their future. But growing up, I see that running fast or slow isn't as important as whether you're running in the direction you actually like.
Speaking of school, what I remember most is the art of pretending to understand the lesson. The teacher asks, "Does everyone understand?" Everyone looks at each other. One kid nods by instinct, and the whole class nods along.
That's solidarity in despair. Then you go home and look at the homework like it's an alien military code.
I once sat for 3 hours just staring at a physics problem.
And did you solve it?
No, I just discovered that my gel pen could draw 12 shades of helplessness.
Haha, but remember, even with the pressure, joy was cheap back then. A 3-tier pencil case or a new mechanical pencil was enough to make you feel like the most powerful kid in class.
Right! Tier 1 for pens, Tier 2 for notebook labels, and Tier 3 to hide secret notes.
Now we have enough money to buy 100 pencil cases, but there are no secrets left worth hiding in them.
From kids afraid of bad grades, we've become adults afraid of deadlines and not having enough for social security.
A painful evolution, but also a proud one.
At least we survived the time when a 5 out of 10 could collapse the whole world.
And learned that you don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love.
Thanks, Alex. I probably should have heard that 10 years ago.
Don't get too touched. I just read that on a red envelope.
You jerk!
Haha, I was being serious though.
Do you notice that the more we grow up, the more we tend to get addicted to fiction, movies, novels, or those fantasy universes?
It makes sense. Because reality is sometimes too brutal, while fiction always has a skin smoothing mode.
I mean those worlds where everything happens for a reason, not like I'm on my way, when in reality, you just stepped into the shower.
That's not fiction, that's practical diplomatic skills. As a kid, I loved adventure stories. I always dreamed of being the poor main character with a radiant aura.
That's not adventure. That's the extreme fantasy genre, my friend.
I used to believe that, when I grew up, I'd have these cool moments. Like stepping out of a convertible, black coat fluttering in the wind, with every eye on me.
And the reality?
The reality is every time I get off my bike, I have to fumble to check if I've put the kickstand down, then get flustered because my earphone cord is caught on a button. No wind, just road dust and honking horns.
Haha, I was worse. As a child, I believed heart and soul that I was the chosen one, the protagonist with a mission to save the galaxy.
What signs made a little girl watering plastic plants think she had a mission to save the world?
Because I felt like I had top-tier internal monologue skills. I could play out a whole detective mystery in my head for 2 hours with a perfectly straight face.
You still do that. Your brain is like a radio station operating 24/7, but without any sponsors willing to invest.
Ha ha, but admit it. Fiction makes life easier to breathe. Even knowing it's fake, you still want to believe in the happily ever after.
Just like the classic lie, everything will be fine.
That line sounds both comforting and heartbreaking. You know, I once stayed up 2 nights to finish a 1,000-page novel just to see if the 2 main characters got married.
And then? A grand wedding?
One lost their memory, the other became a monk. I was so mad I wanted to send the author my bill for eye drops.
Authors are sometimes like chefs who love putting too much chili in a dish and then standing behind the curtain watching readers cry in agony.
And yet we still dive headfirst into reading them.
Because as humans, we have a need to be heartbroken in a controlled way. It's better to cry for a fictional character than to face this month's electricity bill.
Do you ever cinematize your own life? Like walking and imagining you're in a slow-motion shot?
All the time. Every time I put on headphones and play an epic track, I feel like I'm stepping into the final battle of my life.
Haha, oh my god, me too. But real life always knows how to crush that cinematic vibe. In movies, characters running in the rain look romantic, hair still in place.
In real life, you run in the rain, your glasses fog up, you slip and lose a flip-flop, and the next day you have a sore throat and a fever.
In movies, being heartbroken means sitting by a window watching the city lights, looking very deep. In real life, heartbreak is lying flat on the bed, ordering a ton of fast food, and listening to sad music like you're preparing for an Adele music video casting.
Once I was walking under the moonlight, the music was peaking, emotions were soaring. Then the headphones said, battery low. Romance vanished faster than a monthly salary.
Life truly is a very strict director for dreamy souls. But I still like stories about ordinary people. No need for superpowers, just that they keep their kindness after being crushed by life.
That's the hardest kind of fiction right now. A real superhero doesn't need a cape. They just need to not snap at the delivery driver after a long day of meetings.
Exactly. As a kid, I thought being strong meant not crying. Now I know being strong is crying, fixing your makeup, and still going to work on time the next morning.
The adult hero version. Weapon is the deadline. Enemy is back pain.
Hey, do you know what genre I fear the most? It's not horror. It's the open ending.
Oh, the nightmare of people who like clarity.
I hate the feeling of finishing a movie and having to go on forums to read 7,749 analysis posts just to know if the character lived or not. Directors call it art. I call it emotional irresponsibility toward the viewer.
Haha, at least it creates a community of people sharing the same confusion. Have you ever tried writing a story?
Of course, a vampire epic from middle school. A cold male lead, hair covering half his eyes, always standing under a maple tree looking into the distance.
I wrote martial arts stories. The protagonist was named Stormcloud Mad Dragon Overlord. At 15, he swept the martial arts world with one hand while holding a jar of wine in the other.
Haha, sounds like the name of a skill in a bootleg game. Truly, in those immature years, everyone wanted a cool plot twist for their life.
Now my life has a plot twist every day. In the morning I think I'm rich. In the afternoon I check my balance and realize that was fiction.
Haha, growing up is just a long-running plot twist with no end. But I think fiction doesn't exist for us to escape.
But to give us more courage to endure reality.
A good story is like a pat on the shoulder saying, hey, I felt that bad too, but look how this character got through it.
That's beautiful. Like our ancestors telling stories around a cave fire to be less afraid of the darkness outside.
If our lives were a movie, what genre would it be?
Probably. A dark comedy about an existential crisis disguised as roadside gossip.
Ha! Two main characters discussing the great matters of life while forgetting they haven't paid the parking fee.
But I like the script. No need for too much drama. Just having someone sit here and listen to me say these silly things is enough.
This glass is for the ordinary stories that make us feel like we can breathe.
And for Stormcloud Mad Dragon Overlord too.
Haha, never!